women do start the majority of companies. Now, I understand there's high visibility, high growth startups and sole proprietorships at the other end, and women do tend to be at the sub $1 million size when they're dominating entrepreneurship. But in my own travels, I find it frustrating that the two things frustrate me about that topic. One is that I don't think women either seek or get the media spotlight they deserve for what they actually are doing. Even in Boston, there's a group called the CEOs. There are a zillion women CEOs in Boston. There are 150 in that group alone. But for whatever reason, we're not seen as that prototype, and not, the extra effort it might take to sort of make us show up at a night like this or get on a magazine cover isn't happening as frequently as it should. And there's a study coming out at our alma mater, actually, Harvard Business School, of the 50 most powerful women entrepreneurs. And I looked at the list, the sort of draft list, and I didn't know most of the names. I should, because I think about this stuff a lot, and I didn't know most of the names. So for whatever reason, we don't know these women, and I'm excited for that list to come out. And the school did it partly because people were calling them up thinking they had that list existed. It didn't exist. So they did some hard work to make it happen. The other thing that my theme about fundraising isn't my own theme. We had a tough timing issue, no question. But it is true. There's a new study out of Babson, a refresh of the Diana Project, and women are only getting 2.7% of venture capital in the country. And if women were only being admitted to universities at that level, we'd be in the streets protesting. And I do believe that access to capital and access to entrepreneurship is as important as access to education, because it creates the world we live in as much as anything else we do. Companies determine the world we live in. And so that is criminal. And that's something that I also personally am working on a lot to try to change, because 20% of the GDP in the country is created by those venture-funded companies. And so they're not, even though the funding that goes to venture capital, it's only 1% of companies that get venture capital, the impact of those companies is super important. And the role models that they create and the media personalities and archetypes that they serve up are super important. And it's a major obstacle.